1,214 passengers. Inside a wing, built in Russia. No windows for most of them. 6 rear-mounted engines. This thing was completely real and it nearly flew. In this video, 12 real aircraft, all with real funding and real engineering, every single one canceled. Here is exactly what happened to each of them and why the reasons will genuinely surprise you. Starting this list the right way, a short-range jump jet carrying 119 passengers over 1,200 miles. It matched everything Boeing and Airbus had at the time, but with one thing neither of them had: 16 fans built directly into the wings. It could take off and land completely vertically from a car park, a city square, anywhere. They said it would make air travel 10 times safer. But then the 1973 oil crisis hit, and a plane that needed that much fuel to hover became completely unviable overnight. That's the first one killed by fuel, remember that. This one is a step down in ambition, but not in insanity. The FMA IA-36 Condor was built to be the flagship aircraft of South America. 5 engines, all mounted entirely in the tail. The passengers seated in the middle of that tail section would have been sitting inside a ring of engines. Loud, hot, dark, completely miserable. But here is what makes the Condor different from everything else on this list. It was not economics that killed it. It was not fuel. A change in the Argentine government ended it permanently. This one is a genuine sore spot. The SAAB Fairchild 1073, the Baby 747, was designed to bring wide-body aircraft to the regional market, just 87 passengers. But that nose opened completely to board and deplane in under 5 minutes. It could land on grass, desert, or a full international runway. It had everything, and somehow still never made it off the drawing board. This one was insane, genuinely insane. The Lockheed L-500, the civilian version of the C-5 Galaxy. This plane was so big you could bring your car as luggage and fly to Europe for $75. It could carry 1,000 passengers, land on virtually any surface, and it was specifically designed to force Boeing into bankruptcy and kill the 747 before it ever launched. But it was too heavy, too short-range, and the 747 beat it on fuel economics at every single turn. Second time fuel wins. The Americans keep losing to the same enemy. Boeing always planned to one-up Airbus, and the 747X was their ace in the hole. 2 full decks running the entire length of the fuselage, over 650 passengers. In the 1990s, this would have been the largest passenger aircraft ever flown. But technology moved too fast. Next-generation engineering doubled the budget to $5 billion, broke commonality with every existing 747, and sent airlines like Lufthansa straight to the Airbus order book. By 1997, Boeing pulled the plug entirely. We are halfway through, and everything so far, that is just the warm-up. The second half of this list is where it gets genuinely hard to believe. Number 1 especially, nothing we have covered comes close to it. The Boeing Sonic Cruiser was a futuristic subsonic aircraft designed to fly 10 to 20% faster than a conventional jet, turning an 8-hour transatlantic flight into just 6 hours. A genuine game changer, but rising fuel costs made it commercially impossible. Here is the part that will actually hurt. Every single piece of technology developed for the Sonic Cruiser was quietly folded into the Boeing 787, the plane you are probably flying on right now. Fuel again, but this time the technology survived. That matters. McDonnell Douglas looked at the 747 and asked one question: why not just make it bigger? The MD-12 launched in 1992 with a heavy marketing push. First flight planned for 1995, delivery by 1997, targeting transatlantic routes between London and North America, and high-density routes across Southeast Asia and Japan. Not a single airline placed a firm order. And when McDonnell Douglas merged with Boeing, the project disappeared completely. Post-Soviet Russia looked at the 747 and the A380 and decided, not big enough. The Sukhoi KR-860 was planned to carry over 1,000 passengers, using escalators to move them on and off the aircraft. It could carry entire rail cars of cargo and use liquid petroleum gas as its own fuel source. The perfect collision of Western scale and Soviet-era ingenuity. But it never got built. The Fairchild Dornier 728 jet would have been a game changer for European aviation, filling the entire 50 to 130 seat market, beating the Airbus A220 to market, and taking Embraer head-on across the continent. But the orders that were placed were specifically designed to eliminate the competition. When those orders evaporated, the project died with them, betrayed before it ever flew. And this one is completely bonkers. Half boat, half plane, flying on a bubble of air pressure over the surface of the water. Larger than any aircraft flying today, far more fuel efficient. So large it was essentially a floating city, capacity for thousands of passengers, hospitals, five-star dining. In a military configuration, hundreds of tanks. But it was too big, too technically dangerous, and too expensive to ever leave the concept stage. The most insane large aircraft design ever conceived. It did not come from America. It did not come from Europe. It came from Russia. The Tupolev Tu-404, designed to carry 1,214 passengers across 2 full decks, built entirely inside the wing itself, powered by 6 massive rear-mounted engines. The problems were obvious immediately. Most passengers would not get a window seat. Turns created extreme G-forces in the cabin. The rear section would have been hot, dark, and unbearably loud. They had plans for movie theaters, lounges, spas, and full noise cancellation. But no amount of engineering could fix the physics. There was simply no market, and the most ambitious commercial aircraft ever designed never left the page. Counted up how many were killed by fuel, how many by politics, how many by the fact that nobody actually wanted to buy them. The pattern was there from the very first aircraft. It was there in every single one. Which one of these do you think should have been number 1? Drop it in the comments. Every single one gets read. And if you want the full breakdown of the supersonic aircraft, we nearly got Concorde's competitors, Soviet supersonic projects, the ones that never even got a name, let me know below and we will make it happen.